Tyler Matthews of Canada writes, Fire waters, 4 schmeckles for a full pickle jar. Great service, thumbs up. 3 stars. Does anybody else just wander around Google Maps and explore the random faraway places? Well, while doing that one day, I found a theater in a small town with the most bizarre, hilarious, and fake reviews. It piqued my interest. Jonathan of Alaska writes, Good cinema, although they only showed films before 1991. Weird. 4 stars. Anybody want to wager a guess of where this faraway place is? Clue 1. The coat of arms for the village is this. Clue 2. Here's some military-related event at the local school. Clue 3. Here it is on the map as I slowly zoom out. Clue 4. Juan Carlos writes, Good service. Really the best place to die of hypothermia, if it's not summer. 5 stars. If you guess the region, let me know in the comments and I'll give you a sticker or something. Well, here we are in northern Siberia, in the Sakha Republic of Russia, in the small village of Soskilak, population of 2,317. Josh Norwick of Canada writes, I never expected to check out a movie theater in northern Siberia, of all places, but my son's travel hockey team had the misfortune of being stranded here for a week after our plane needed to make an emergency landing. The movie options are quite limited. We wound up watching Tootsie twice, and the popcorn was stale, but they sell vodka and pierogies in the theater, and the gal behind the counter was halfway cute by Kazakh standards. There are worse places to be stranded when one's plane malfunctions. 4 stars. In contrast to what Josh has written, despite being in Russia, hockey is not played up in that area, and there are very few Kazakh Russians living there. The population mostly consists of people of the Yakuts, Evensk, and Dogan tribe. This traveler says it's mostly Evenks, while this one says it's mostly Dogan. Interestingly, the Evenks and Dogan, though historically living in the neighboring areas, share much of the same culture. Their respective languages are very different and not even from the same family. The Dogan language, like the Yakut language, is part of the Turkic language family, while the Evenki language is part of the Tungusic languages. The spread of this language group is fascinating, dotting across East and North Russia, as well as one corner of China here and the other corner of China here. And of course, the Turkic language group spread from Europe through the Middle East, Central Asia, and into China, spreading out north into Russia. You can see Dogan and Yakuts up here. Oopsie doopsies, I didn't mean to get so nerdy. Jacob Fields writes, Amazing. Dimitri gave me purple crackers that made my tummy hurt. 4 stars. Artur Bajanov writes, Good movie drive, but there's a granny next to me and she farted loudly. 3 stars. Danila Miadovsky writes, Wonderful cinema. There's an IMAX and also a lot of delicious things like tacos, nachos, and sushi. Movies in 8K. 5 stars. Sumagato writes, I saw Godzilla there. 5 stars. Damaris Duna of Arizona writes, I watched the screen for Ivan Drago here. 5 stars. The interesting things about this are, Almaz isn't here where the pin is. This place is actually a school or like a school gym. Almaz is actually here. Tugis, which is a map service like Google Maps, more correctly identifies it. Also, Almaz isn't actually a movie theater. It is more accurately described as a house of culture, featuring a museum and a library. Perhaps there might be a small stage theater there where they screen culture-related movies, but it isn't a typical commercial movie theater. Artyom of Russia writes, I really liked it. Cool diamonds. 1 star. Another Sumagato writes, Didn't find any diamonds. 4 stars. By the way, Almaz in Russian means diamond. Letitia Monaco writes, Great place to eat a pear. 5 stars. Pishinichny writes, Great place to eat an orange. 5 stars. Vic.com writes, It was hot inside. I like the apples. 5 stars. I'm not sure what this whole fruit thing is. Now that we've heard many of these reviews, let me raise 2 questions. Why is David spending his leisure time wandering around the far depths and places of Earth on Google Maps? And why are there so many random people who likely have never been here, leaving the most bizarre reviews of this theater? I think the answer to these 2 questions are the same. Humans are naturally curious. We have a natural urge to explore and go to places we've never been before. By now, humans have explored almost every inch of this planet. But we don't know everything about every inch. With Google Maps, you can explore these corners of the world. Where are the places in the world where you think about the least? Could it be the villages of the Amazon jungles? Or the settlements of the Sahara Desert? Or perhaps like me on this particular day, the far northern villages of Siberia? Humorously, while zooming into a random place in the Sahara, I clicked on the first pin that I saw and was brought to this amazing review. Jahana, California writes, "They had nice events here, although with the dwindling population and the collapsed roof, it's doubtful it will ever regain its lost glory. The last time it was used for was for the wedding between Salim the trader and Safiya, daughter of Marwan the shepherd. By all accounts, the roasted goat was terrific, although the potato salad did cause a mini epidemic of diarrhea. But the people here are a hearty lot, and no one thought much of it. 5 stars. Arnie Beck writes, "Solid place. Don't eat the potato salad though. 5 stars. It's fascinating to stumble across these places in the remote parts of the world, learn something, and perhaps imagine what their lives are like. What do they eat? What do they do for fun? What do they do for work? Are they happy? I wouldn't imagine that Saskalak is an easy place to live." Alberto Losada writes, "There was a very strange door in the toilets. It seemed like a passageway to a universe. I entered and found Cristiano Ronaldo smoking a cigarette, Camel. He invited me to put 5 Siberian crowns into a slightly old and dirty slot machine. I didn't stop, and I added 5 to triple the number of grapes. I won a couple of movie tickets and extravagantly flavored Coke. I recommend 100%. I like Shuktuwanga and its people. It's very hot though. Bring a swimsuit to bathe in the public pools that are scattered throughout the shanties. 5 stars. Nearby is a bank, which I don't think really exists. The reviews there makes it clear why these Google Map reviews exist." TW writes, "Looks like I'm not the first person to stumble upon this town. I love looking for remote places like this. I feel like the way of life here would be so much simple and stress-free than the big city where I'm from." Alexander writes, "I wish to travel to towns like this one day. I want to see how life is over there." Excuse writes, "Hey all who stumbled upon this place as well." Denise from Turkey writes, "To us, you are far away, and to you, we are far away. I hope you're doing well out there. Share some photos from your area so that we can get to know them." Back to Almaz. "What is happening is that people like myself are exploring the region on Google Maps, are delighted to have discovered a movie theater in a small village, and are writing silly reviews for such faraway places." Makio writes, "Ya film, 1 star." TK Game writes, "I really liked it and found the fallen Checo, 5 stars." Maxime writes, "Dnyo," which is either bottom in Russian or yes in Yakutsk. Anyways, 1 star. Humans' innate desire to connect, learn, and imagine the lives of those in distant places sparks moments of amusement and contemplation along the way." Rafa23 writes, 2. Wow. 3 stars.